So here we have a pound NA, which means that it can't find the value that it's looking for. So we're looking for San Diego, and you could see in cell A9 that San Diego is right there. So what's going on here? Why can't we find this? Now, I know it's kind of obvious. I know that there's an A in this one and there's an E on this one. But let's pretend for 1 second that it's not so obvious. We can fix this. We can find out where it's coming from by using a mid formula. So if we say mid, look for this. Start number is going to be row -6. So that's going to start at 1. And we want to see only one character. And let's do the same thing for this one. Also, we want absolute references. You know what, let's do a mixed reference. 6. Now, when we drag this down, we're comparing one character at a time. And just in case this row part is a little off to you, because you've never seen it before, we could put this on the side too. Row essentially just returns the row number, and we do -6 because we're starting on row 7 and we want to start with 1. And there we go. So let's put row or character number. And now we can compare this easily by saying, does this equal this? Yeah, let's go down there. And of course, as you already probably know, one spelled with an A, one spelled with an E. So all we have to do is change, actually no, let's change this one because this one's wrong. Now that worked, but that was kind of an easy example. Let's do a more realistic situation. I want to see San Jose, and you can see we're using the same formula, but it can't find it again, even though San Jose is spelled exactly the same. So let's recreate the same exercise as before. San Jose compared to San Jose. Match and card number. And we can copy this formula, actually all the formulas. And we could see here at the very bottom that nothing does not equal nothing. That doesn't make sense. But if we go ahead and say length, meaning counting the amount of characters, we could see there's a character in this one, but not in this one. So that means there's an extra space there. So the solution for this is we can go to our table and we do a trim function, which gets rid of any trailing or spaces before the word. So let's copy and paste values into here. And now we can see it works perfectly. So the point that we're trying to make here is that sometimes spaces which can't be seen are creating mismatches, which is creating a pound and A in your VLOOKUP. Let's try one more example. This time we're going to be talking about different data types and that causing mismatches. So we'll see here that if we want to find the city ranked number 3, third column, 0 for exact match, we're still getting the pound NA even though there's a 3 clearly right there. Well, the green arrow here means there is a mistake in the cell. And if we click on the message, you can see it says number stored as text. So this means that even though it looks like a number, it's actually being interpreted as a string, or which is another way of saying a word or text. So there's a few ways we can solve this. If you don't want to touch the underlying data, we can come here and change this to a 3 with double quotes on it. That way it's interpreted as a string as well. We're comparing a string to a string. But a better way to do this would be to compare a number to a number. So to do that, we can do it a few ways. We can copy A1 and hit Alt-ES to bring in the paste special and hit V for values and M for multiply. And that'll change everything to a number. Or if you don't want to change the underlying data again that way, we can use the formula number value. And now you can see that everything here is in fact a number now because there's no green arrows. So we can just copy and paste values that way, and that'll work as well. You can see as soon as we hit paste, now it's populating. And again, this is because we want to compare numbers to numbers and strings for strings. So 3 equals 3, right? 3 as a text does not equal 3 as a number. And 3 as a text matches 3 as a text. Let's do one more example before we close this out. This time I want to look at the data type date. So let's say I want to find the dates August 12th, 2022. And let's complete that. Let's do a VLOOKUP. And oops, 2, 0, false. Now, obviously this isn't going to work. It doesn't even look the same. But the point I'm trying to make here is that if we change this to an integer by hitting Control-Shift-1, you can see that it's actually a number, which is 44,000. So if we want to do this, we have to either use that crazy number, which obviously isn't ideal, but it would work, or we can make this a regular date and make this a number as well. So let's change that reference. Now, another way that we can do this is by changing this to date value and then putting 8/12/2022. And the same concept applies. You have to compare consistent data types. If it's a date, it has to be looking at a date. If it's an integer, it has to be looking at an integer. And if it's a string, it needs to be looking at a string. That's it for this lesson. And of course, as always, don't forget to practice, and I'll see you on the next one.